Most manipulation only works for one simple reason. People want to believe what they are hearing. That is the hidden weakness manipulation depends on, not stupidity, but the human desire for simple explanations and comfortable answers. Manipulation rarely looks like manipulation. It usually appears as confidence, as certainty, as a story that seems to make sense. Someone presents an explanation, they sound convincing, they appear calm, they speak as if the situation is completely clear, and many people accept the explanation immediately. But individuals who observe human behavior carefully often notice something different. They do not only listen to the explanation, they examine the intention behind it. Because manipulation almost always has a direction, it tries to move the listener toward a specific conclusion, a specific belief, a specific reaction. Instead of asking, "Is this explanation logical?" the careful observer asks a different question. What does this person want me to believe? That small shift changes everything, because once intention becomes visible, manipulation becomes much easier to detect. Another reason manipulation works is emotional pressure. The message may create urgency, fear, or a sense that immediate agreement is required. Emotion reduces reflection. When people feel pressure, they respond quickly, and quick reactions often favor the person controlling the narrative. But someone who remains calm during these moments notices the structure of the situation. Why is this information being presented now? Why does this explanation feel urgent? What outcome benefits the person speaking? These questions interrupt the emotional momentum manipulation depends on. Another signal often appears in manipulated conversations: overconfidence. The person presenting the message leaves no room for uncertainty. Everything appears obvious. Everything appears settled. But reality rarely works this way. Complex situations usually contain multiple possibilities, multiple interpretations, multiple unknowns. When someone presents a perfectly certain explanation for a complicated situation, careful observers become curious, not convinced. They begin looking for what is missing, what alternative explanations exist, what information has been ignored. Manipulation depends on narrowing the frame of thinking. It directs attention toward one interpretation while quietly excluding others. But once someone begins examining the frame itself, the structure of manipulation becomes visible. Over time, people who study human behavior develop a quiet advantage. They stop reacting only to words. They begin observing incentives, intentions, emotional pressure, narrative structure. And when those elements become visible, manipulation becomes far easier to recognize. Not because intelligent people are immune to persuasion, but because they pause long enough to examine the situation before accepting the story. In many conversations, the most important question is not whether an explanation sounds convincing. It is whether the explanation benefits the person presenting it. And once that question appears, manipulation often becomes surprisingly easy to see.